Does that whisper sound help with the voices? Or with the voice, sorry, with the voices? The voices! It helps with the voices. So it's... the voices, the voices, the voices. Okay. It's an exercise for resonance, for resonance practice. So if you look at my, here, right? This is like my larynx, okay? So as I talk in lower pitches or higher pitches, it moves ha, ha, ho, ha. Okay? So it moves with my pitch, okay? But also, the size of this here affects the resonant frequency, I believe it's called, of my voice, okay? So the general principle is, okay, if you look here, okay, if you listen. Okay? Lowering the volume makes it get deeper. Like, sorry, yeah, like lower volume is higher and bigger volume of container. So as I drink the water from the glass, it expands, and the bigger it gets, okay, as it expands, the bigger it gets, okay, the deeper it goes. The bigger it gets, the deeper it goes, okay? So anyway, moving on. Moving on. Here, was that Misa, sorry, water phobia? Anyway, so, basically, the smaller our throat and the smaller our mouth is, the smaller our throat is, and the smaller our mouth is. Even if we, I don't know, I'm moving my larynx here. But anyway, basically the size of the shape, okay? The bigger it is, the deeper, and the smaller it is, the higher, okay? That's what you need to know. So, so, the thing that I do with the whisper thing, what I'm doing is I make a like the E from edge, okay? And then I whisper it, okay? I whisper it, so I go, and then I start from, and I basically raise it as I go up. It's a little exercise. It was an exercise that worked for me to understand. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm doing an exercise to understand how to move this muscle, essentially, or this part of my body, because you can do it without having to do an exercise, right? I don't need to go, like, I can just go like this, like, just watch, okay? Just look. I don't need to produce, I don't need to do the whisper thing, right? Like, I don't need to do that to move it. I can just go, but by practicing, by doing the noises, that gives me a way to move this without knowing how to do the muscle movements, if that makes sense. So that's how I learn. That's how you start learning, essentially. You learn how to how to move it without those, oh, you can do a closed mouth? Oh yeah, sorry. Anyway, you can do, anyway. Anyway, all that to say, you can practice that with the vocal exercises. And by practicing the vocal exercises, you learn how to move this part of your mouth, right? You learn how to move it without raising the neck. Oh, sorry. But the reason I was raising the neck up was so you could see my thing. I wanted you able to see it clearly, because if I go like this, I mean, it's still visible, but it's much more visible here. Sorry, that's why I was just raising the neck, okay? Anyway, sorry, I keep getting distracted. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. Sorry. Okay, so I do the vocal exercises just as a... When I get to this point, I know that I've got my resonance. When I say resonance, that's what I'm using to refer to my larynx size. I know that I've gotten it small enough, okay? When I get to this noise, so I just go, you know? And then once I get this noise, I just produce a sound from that noise. So, hello, 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 hello. So I speak like this, and then I talk like this, and now my resonant, my frequency is higher. My resonance is higher. My frequency is higher. If I just, I talk like this, I talk like this. Anyway. So all I'm doing by practicing that exercise over and over as I just sit here and watch the video and just keep going, all I'm doing is just constantly using that as like a stimulus reminder to like keep this high. And it's not like a stressful thing in the throat because it's just a whisper. It's not, you're not even using your vocal cords to do this. You're just keeping good posture. You know what I mean? You're just keeping good vocal posture, I guess. That's how I think of it, at least. So I want to keep it like this, and then I want to talk with it like this still. And then if I work on that for long enough, what I'll do is I will, regardless of my voice, I'll keep my thing. I'll keep my thing here in a good position. I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to the video, okay? Sorry. I feel like I did such a terrible... Wait, I feel like I did such a terrible explanation there. Sorry. I don't think I did a good explanation there. There's the video that I saw initially, Rocco, that taught me this. You're doing it backwards and it's making your voice deeper. I can show you the initial video that I saw that taught me all of this, but it was Trans Voice. It was Ziana from Trans Voice Lessons. Okay? But this is where I learned. I'm basically parroting poorly what she said. My nose is so red. Look how red my nose is. Can you see this? Do you see how red my nose is right now? I explained it in a way that was easier for me. I guess that makes sense because I'm not like a professional teacher. So like in a way there's an ability to learn from people that are not that like, that are speaking like, like there's the like, what is it? The novice master, okay? There's a way to like learn from those people, I guess, compared to like learning from like an actual like real teacher, you know? Because they kind of speak your same language, I guess, as fellow novices. They kind of explain things in a way that you can understand a little better. So, yeah. So basically, it's there's another voice exercise. People call it big dog, little dog, okay? And the big dog goes, or whisper siren, okay? I think whisper siren or whatever, but you go like, like you like that, right? And when you go, it drops, and you go, it goes up, and that lets you just, all you're practicing here, when you do these exercises, all you're practicing is how to move this. That's what you're practicing. The exercises allow you to move this using the exercise, right? That's what they do. The exercise moves this, but you don't need the exercise to move this. You can do it with your brain. You just don't know how to do it. And the exercise tells you how to do it without you knowing how to do it with your brain. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm changing resonance. Yeah, exactly. But I'm explaining just how the mechanism of how you do it, right? Because when you start, then that's normal. Yeah, I'm just changing resonance. Exactly, I'm changing resonance. But when you start out for the first time that you started out doing it, you probably don't know how to move this at all. It's like asking someone to like I can do this, okay? Look. But I can't do it the other way around. I physically don't know how to do this. Like this eyebrow, I don't know how to do it. I genuinely don't know how to move this eyebrow. I can't do it whatsoever. I don't know how to I can't raise it. Like, I just can't. I can raise it if I raise them both together. But I don't know. It's rough, right? It's ridiculous. So, anyway. I don't know how to do this eyebrow. Anyway, when you don't know how to actually control the muscle of your body, because you just don't know how to use it, you can't just will yourself into using it. You need to like start somehow. And the way that you start with learning how to move this muscle when you don't know how to move it is you do vocal exercises that move it for you when you produce the correct sound. And when you produce the correct sound, it should move. And when you produce the incorrect sound, it won't move or whatever. But if you produce the correct sound, it moves. And you produce a different sound, it moves a different direction. And you use that and you practice it enough. And eventually what you learn is, I can do this movement without sound now because I know how to use the muscles. Now I've done enough practice. I now understand how these muscles move. I can do it myself. Oh, and if you talk like this, even if you try to speak really high, it still sounds really weird because your resonance is so low. Even if you speak so high, it's so right. It sounds freaky. Okay, it sounds freaky. Similarly, if you try to get your resonance really high and then you speak low, it sounds really bizarre as well. It's like it's so I think that yeah, it's hollow. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's hollow. The way that human beings' voices develop is typically to fit people develop a voice that fits them. That's what I believe. I don't know if that's pseudoscience, okay? People will develop a voice that fits their bodies, like physiologically, physiology or whatever the word is, okay? That's what they'll do. They'll develop a body, they'll develop a voice that fits the body's physiology, okay? And typically those things will happen in the, as things do in nature, typically, everything will follow the like the path of least resistance, okay? That's typically what happens. So the voice you end up with eventually is just going to be the voice that feels comfortable to speak in your body at your specific vocal size or whatever, you know? I wanted to talk more in voice. You're amazing. Thank you. Yeah. But I think I was just saying like so the point is to practice and learn how to use this. So that's step one, I guess. If you think of your process here, your progress here, sorry. Pant time. I'm not, Pachita is mine, okay? Okay, pant stream a second time in one stream. That's crazy. 2 pant streams in one stream. That is wild. Okay. I just knocked my, one sec. Just knocked my whole ass keycap off. Hands off, yeah, hands off Pachita. Which one goes if I do this? Which direction does this go on? I think it goes this way. Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, sorry. Anyway. So your progress will kind of go like this, okay? I don't know if I needed to do this. But anyway, we're going to do it like this, okay? So I don't know if I actually needed to do this or not. But it doesn't matter, okay? So stage 1. Fuck it. Let's do a timeline instead. Let's do like a time. What? Fuck me. I don't think this is helping me much, okay? Anyway, this is your timeline, okay? Of stuff that you need to learn, okay? So this is, you know, here we have stage 1, okay? And stage 1 is basically, stage 1 is understand how to control the actual mechanisms, okay? So stage 1 is learning how to actually operate the machinery, you know? The first thing you need to do is understand how to operate the machinery. You got to understand how to actually control. What are the controls? Learn the controls. Step one is learn the controls. Okay. That's step 1. Okay. You got to learn the controls. Okay. And when you start out, like as in any video game, when you start out learning the controls, they teach you them one by one by one. They don't just tell you every control all at once. So you learn how to adjust your resonance. This is resonance, we'll refer to this, okay? You learn how to make your resonance higher. That's what you learn first. Secondly, we also have to factor in our pitch. So we all know how to adjust pitch, right? I have no good you know? It's you just mess with your pitch, right? So you gotta learn your pitch, your resonance. The other one that's important is your vocal weight is the other one I remember being important when I was looking at the trans voice lessons thing, you know? And your vocal weight is just, so do you speak like this? So this is like a whispery voice, right? Or it's very soft. I'm speaking very softly, but I can speak very low. I could speak very low and very softly. I could speak very low and very softly. Very, very low and very softly. I could speak like that. Or I can speak very high and with a lot of weight. I can speak, I can speak very high and I can speak with a lot of weight and I can speak like that. And it's higher, right? The pitch is obviously higher. The resonance is also higher. And the vocal weight is also higher. And it's, And we can adjust all of these things independently. We can adjust them all independently of each other. So, for example, I'm not very good at this. There's people much better. But I could lower the pitch, so, ooh, and I could up the weight. Or so I could lower the resonance, ooh, oh, right? Or I could, but then I can do, so I can do, oh, sorry, that sounded gross. Oh, ah. Anyway, you can just mess around with it. You can have fun with it. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to sound good. You just do it in your own fucking, you know what I mean? And you just make fucking weird noises, okay? But those are just playing with the fucking gauges. Like you're like a little mad person just sitting on a fucking, with a control switch thing, just like pulling the levers differently, and the machine is going like this, you know? You're just hitting all the buttons, and you're just hitting them all at once at random, okay? And your little machine's going haywire, okay? That's what we're doing there. That, me with the chair right there is a visual representation of what I was doing with my, yeah. Me with the chair right there is a visual representation of what I was doing with my voice, okay? You're twisting it, you're pushing it back, you're lowering it, raising it. You're doing crazy shit all at once, okay? And the idea is, once we get our controls and we learn how to do our we learn our controls, then for like step 2, okay, or whatever, let's do like orange, you know? Then like step 2, once we've learned the controls, is to basically practice using the controls to produce a voice. Okay, so this is kind of like step 2. So you practice using the controls to produce a voice. And this part is this part where basically you get stuck in. This is like this is the part where you basically, this is the part where you basically are sort of creating the voice that you're hoping to get, essentially. Now, it doesn't have to turn out with, you don't have to end up with that voice, but that's kind of what you're doing, is you're thinking of the voice, how do you want to sound? And then you want to basically, using your ability to control your pitch, control your weight, your vocal weight, control your resonance, you will now attempt to produce a voice that you want to sound like. Something that you think is like, I can produce a voice and I like this voice.